Namaskaram. Welcome to the sixth episode of Transcend with Subham. In today's episode, we are finally going to talk about Ganesha and how Ganesha can help you to manifest the life that you want. So, as we start, as always, we'll start with the invocation. Those who are new to this podcast and its ways, I would please, I'm reiterating it again, saying it again and again. Watch the previous episodes because each episode is linked with the another episode, and it's like a tapestry. It's like the threads which are making a complete picture, a holistic picture that you can see. Otherwise, if you miss a thread, you will lose the entire picture. And I want to make you to see the entire picture that this life holds as a comprehensive thing, not it in parts. Okay. So we'll start with the invocation. Since we are talking about Ganesha, we will be invoking Ganesha's energies. So please, if you can, close your eyes, focus on your third eye, the Ajna chakra, okay, which is between the eyebrows, or in the Anahata, the heart chakra, which is in the just below the sternum where the rib cage meets. You can focus, and I will chant the mantra to invoke Ganesha. Okay. वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सुमुखश्चैकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्वविकटो विघ्ननाशो विनायकः धूम्रकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षो भालचन्द्रो गजाननः द्वादशैतानि नामानि यः पठे शृणुयादपि विद्यारम्भे विवाहे च प्रवेशे निर्गमे तथा सङ्ग्रामे सङ्कटे चैव विघ्नस्तस्य न जायते. ॐ गङ्गणपते नमः. So I have invoked the energies of Ganesha, and if you are focused, the energies have also been invoked around you. Now, in today's podcast, I have written pointers, and I will go through the pointers one by one, so that what will happen is they are adjusted like a questions. Since I am doing a solo podcast, so I am the only one who has to, craft the questions, and I am the only one who will craft the answers. So it will help us to go through step by step in Ganesha's process, in the journey of realizing the Ganesha, and the journey of make befriending Ganesha, so that he is always there when you need him, and he's a brilliant friend and a brilliant counselor. Okay. Brilliant friend as well as a brilliant counselor. His ways, I would say, are so peculiar. It's like if we see something to solve a problem, we don't need to always use the rocket, to solve a problem, or a cannon. With a mere pin, with a mere needle, you can solve a problem, a huge problem which seems huge. How to use the needle instead of the cannon to solve the problem is Ganesha's way. That is his power. That is his intelligence. That's why he is called Vigna Vinashak, the remover of obstacles. He has such a brilliant intelligence because he is the manifestation of intelligence. Remember, in my previous episode, I told what are deities? Deities are existential forces in nature manifested into a human relatable form with personality traits and attributes related to that form, so that we can transact with it consciously, and it reciprocates consciously. As I reciprocate with you, as I reciprocate with any other human being, that existential force we can reciprocate it with a human relatable form through the technology of consecration, which I have also told, which is, I think, only the Indian patent in mysticism. India has the only patented version of consecration, because other consecrations were also done in other cultures, but they were not as rich and advanced with such pro features as integrate the Indian mystics have refined the technology of consecration to transform an unmanifested form of the existence to a manifested human relatable form. That is such a powerful thing. Okay, so these are deities, and Ganesha is a particular deity. He's the deity of intelligence, and that's why, since with his intelligence, he can find a way even when we think that there is no way. Okay, that's why he is also known as Vigna Vinashak. Vignesh means he is the remover of obstacles. In your life, you are facing any obstacles. What is an obstacles? What is an obstacle? From point A to point B, you want to reach. And for something, you are not reaching it. Means that's something which is blocking you, creating friction is an obstacle. So with the energies of Ganesha, with the intelligence that Ganesha has, if you can imbibe it in yourself, you will find a way to clear that obstacle, remove that obstacle, and march ahead. No obstacle can bind you, because remember, in this life, everything has a solution. It's just that we didn't find it yet. We haven't found it yet. Okay, and Ganesha's intelligence will help you to find the solution. Okay, I will come to epiphanies and some of the stories that I had with Ganesha. Okay, I will tell you that how he helped me in some of the things. He has helped me in many things, but some of the stories which I remember, because what happens when this sort of things, like which may be called as supernatural or something, starts happening with you on a regular basis, it becomes normal for you. To take an example of this, suppose when you first got a screen touch phone or a VR headset, it was such a wonderful experience for you. You know, the mobile phone and the video games that you have played. It was such a wonderful experience for you. But now you ask the kids who are playing it regularly, oh, it's okay. They don't have an awe or an amazement that what are they playing, maybe a dream for someone who had born like 50 years back. Okay, so this also same happens with the deities. Once you start living and interacting with the deities, it becomes a new normal for you. Okay, and that normalcy I want in everyone, because you can't dissect life as something as important as something as non-important. Whether you are talking to God or dog, okay, you can only know life to its essence when talking to a god or talking to a dog is same in the level of perception, not in the same as the level of action. Okay, I'm not demeaning, interacting with a deity as something lower or higher. For me, this is only for my case, that whether I co- interact with a deity or interact with a friend or interact with an animal is the same for me. That equanimity, and that helps me to perceive the situation in a more objective manner. Okay, but that is the case with me. You may have a different viewpoint, maybe when something happens which is, till now not happened with you, you may find it, oh my god, oh my god, it's such a wonderful, beautiful, it is a beautiful thing. But when it happens you on a regular basis, it's again becomes normal. Okay, so take all this experience, whether this experience have happened to you or not happened to you, take it as a part of life only. It's a part of human experience, it's not something superhuman experience. That I want to make it clear first. Okay, only when you have an equanimity of experience, only then you can find the truest essence of life, you can know the truest essence of life, you can see the life in a holistic picture. It's your mind will be a plain mirror, it won't have bumps and ditches. Like if something is more valuable to you, something that someone you revere or like, you will exaggerate in their mind. So the mind will m- become a concave mirror, which is like a magnifying glass. If you hate something, you will, you know, you will make it small. Okay, so you will make it convex mirror, so it will show things smaller. But you can only know yourself, you can only perceive the situation better when your mind is like a plane mirror, and that will only come with equanimity. Okay, then only you can have a holistic view of life. Otherwise you will always pitch for this or that. Okay, your, I would say, mind will be biased. Okay, so you will always be in a dilemma. So that's what I'm saying, that although it's a very big technology, it's a very refined technology, it helps you to achieve so many things, but it's still a technology. Okay, respect it to the way respect is needed. Okay, don't I would say, don't have a biased view of it. That's only what I'm saying. Okay, so I have talked about what are deities. Now I want to talk to you about what is Rupa and Swarupa. Rupa and Swarupa comes from the Sanskrit words. You know, it means image, imagery. Okay. So there is Swarupa and there is Rupa. So in deities, there are specific terms in Tantra also occult. Okay. Tantra is the technology of the interacting with the deities and accessing the deities for various purposes. So in Tantra, there is, in Puranic text also, there is Swarupa Dhyan and Rupa Dhyan. But they don't say always you have to meditate on the deity's imagery. Okay. But there's this minute distinction between Swarupa and Rupa. Rupa means imagery. Swarupa means Swa comes from self. Okay. Rup is imagery. So Swarup means the imagery that we can relate to of the deity. Now, remember previously I said that the deity is an unmanifested form of the existence manifested in a human relatable form so that we can relate to, with personality traits and attributes we can relate to. Otherwise, if it comes in a different form, maybe you may not able to relate to, you may not understand the language that he or she speaks, the deity speaks. So the deity manifests into such a form that we can relate to. That is the Swarup of the deity, Swarup of the Devta. Okay. So always there is a difference. When the deity is manifesting in Swarupa, there is also a hint that maybe it is not the objective form of that deity. Okay. Because we have a human mind, we can only grasp till the limitations of our mind. See that that is an existential force much bigger than our capabilities and our, you know, skill sets and competence of all our systems. Even our imagination has a limit because we are human beings. A sub a sub part can't grasp the whole. A part can't grasp the whole. We are a part of the existence. We are a small outcrop of the existence. How can we grasp the entirety of the existence? Because our tools that we have, our mind, our body, our energies, our emotions are limited. So it's an existential aspect manifesting. So, how we don't have the competence to even grasp that. So that we can grasp, the existential force takes a form that our human mind can fathom and comprehend. Okay, this is the same thing if you have heard of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, it's the most ancient text. There are many Gitas. Gita means a song, song of the divine. Okay, and there are many Gitas. Bhagavad Gita is the most popular because in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a crash course on the entire Sanatan Dharma, on the entire mystical and spiritual aspects of India to Arjuna. Like, how can you know yourself? How do you know who you are? So, in Krishna, in 49 minutes, gives an entire crash course. That's why it's most popular. If you want to know the Sanatan Dharma, if you want to know the laws of the eternal, if you want to know the entire spirituality to its essence, that is the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, that's why it's so much popular. So, in when Krishna regarding the Vishwarup Darshan, now what is Vishwarup? Vishwarup means the universal form of Krishna. He says to Arjuna that Arjuna, even though Arjuna sees Krishna's like cosmic form in such a vast and everything, there's a vivid descriptions how many phases are there, what is some beings are going inside, some beings are going outside. I will let you to investigate it. Maybe I will talk it in some other sections. But he speaks to Arjuna and gives proper statement regarding that. See, you, this is not my original form, this is not my true form. You are seeing this form to the limit your mind can comprehend and grasp, till the limit of your imaginations, till that only you are seeing. That's why this kind of form is manifesting in front of you. Okay, if you would have been taken on a different species, maybe you would have seen a different form of me. That's why Swarupa. Okay, so Rupa, maybe we can't grasp, but Swarupa we can, because Swarupa is the form which we can relate to, we can access, we can communicate to. That's why Swarupa is important of the deity, of the Devata. Okay, now this two things is clear to you, that the forms we see are Swarupa of the Ishta, or the Swarupa of the deities, or the Swarupa of the Devata, of the gods and goddesses, because only that we can relate to. It's not the actual form. Maybe or maybe not. That is not clear. Now, how does success come into this? Let's go into some intricacies of success. Okay. So, success means fulfilling the intent of the action for which you have committed the action. Okay. To take an example, let's take the example of soccer. You have to score a goal and you have the ball. So, success means kicking the ball in such a way that the ball goes into the goal post. Only when the ball goes into the goal post will the very intent of what you thought you are doing the action for, which is hitting the ball to go into the goal post, when it gets fulfilled, means your action is successful. Okay. Now, for any endeavor to make it successful, there are three factors. Three factors. Okay. If three factors are there with you, then you will be successful in any endeavor. Number one is competence and skill. Okay. Means, do you have the ability, in case of your physical body, in the case of your emotional aspect, in the case of your mind, in the case of your energies, to even perform that action that the situation is demanding for you, that the endeavor, that the work is demanding for you? Do you have the basic perks? Do you have the basic upgrades in your system of this human mechanism to perform the intended work at the first place? Suppose I have to run an email campaign. Okay, I have been given the job of an campaign head to run an email campaign, but I lack the skills. I don't know how email works. What are the intricacies of the email marketing system? It means I won't be successful, because I first thing which is necessary for success is our own competence and skill. We don't have. How will we be successful? We can't. But there's always a but. Okay, because we are talking about mysticism, we are talking about deities. So there are other aspects of success. Most of the people, since they have not harnessed the two other factors of success, that's why they failed in many endeavors, because due to the lack of competence. Okay, and they say to be successful, you have to do hard work. That is true in the case, because the other two ingredients which contribute to success, they have not been exposed to, but they work, they have not been exposed to. Okay, second thing is grace. Now, what is grace? Have you seen gravity? What is the function of gravity? The function of gravity is to attract, okay, towards its mass. Okay, every object which has mass will have an attractive force, gravitational force. Even the earth has. So the gravity's function is to attract towards its mass from where it's emanating. Similarly, grace is a certain lubrication. What is the function of grace? The function of grace is to lubricate your life in such a way so that you know who you are. Okay. Ultimately, when we have come here in this planet as a life, as a human being, the first thing that we should have done is to know who we are in its entirety, in its origin. But due to many factors, due to our societal conditioning and everything, we have forgotten that we have to know. This is the first thing. Remember, in the previous videos, I talked about Purusharth, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. First is comes Dharma, which means the law. You have to know the laws of the game before you enter to play the game. Otherwise, you will be freaked out in the process of gaming because you don't know what to do. So, grace is always there to assist, to lubricate your actions in such a way that eventually you come to such a path which will let you know who you are. That is grace. To find your fullest potential as a life. It is always present. It's like gravity only. It is always present. It is your job to become receptive to it. It will start functioning. Okay. If you are not receptive to it, it is still there, but you can't access it. When your life is devoid of grace, you can't access grace. Even though everything is happening the way you want, still you will find a sense of incompleteness within you, a sense of frustrativeness in you, because you are not going to the path, you are not going through the path which will enhance you, which will make you know who you are. And since that need, which is a fundamental need of human life, human as a life, you as a life, it's not being catered to. That's why, despite having everything, you will still feel incomplete, you will still feel frustrated, you will still feel anxious. There's nothing wrong around you. Everything is fine. Everything is happening. Your partner is doing the way you want. Your boss, your manager, everything is behaving the way you want. But still, there will be sense of inadequacy. There will be sense of incompleteness, frustration, because you have not been receptive to the grace, which is there to cater to the most fundamental aspect of you, which is to know yourself. Okay, that is there. Third thing is luck. Luck is the proper alignment of the opportunity to the action you are doing. The time, place, situation, everything properly aligned for the intended work that you want to do. So, this is the three things for a successful endeavor. First is your competence and skill. Second is the grace. Third is luck. Only if these three things are there, you will find success. Now, see, if you only have competence, means 100% out of the 100% success rate, you will gain 33%, one third, 33.333 something. Okay. So you will only get 33% success rate. You will have to do much harder work. Then you will get chronic ailments, ulcers, stress, your blood pressure, BP. Why? Because these two things you have not taken alongside with you. Okay. Now you will ask Shubham, okay, so how do I become receptive to grace? How do I, put luck in our favor? That's where spirituality and mysticism comes in. Even, let me talk about you. Even there are people who don't have any competence but are still successful. Why? Because luck favored them and there was grace. Okay. They found competence afterwards, not before. If you have seen many people that they didn't have lacked the needed intelligence, competence, or skill. When you talk to them, they looked like a fool, a nutcase. But still, they are successful in their endeavors because grace and luck was with them. And as a consequence of grace, since they were receptive to grace, grace is the intelligence of life itself, of the universe itself. When it sticks with you, when it is with you, it will ultimately transform you in such a way that you will also become skillful and intelligent. Grace is like the intelligence of the creator, which is present everywhere. Even the soil has an intelligence of its own. Everything is soaked in grace. Okay. So if you become receptive to grace, and the grace function is to make you blossom to the fullest possible extent that you can blossom, to upgrade you to the fullest possible extent that life has ultimately or defaultly programmed everyone who takes as a human being. If he becomes receptive to grace, grace will automatically align your life situation in such a way that you will find your truest fullest potential as a human being, all the upgrades, all the perks. But you will have the necessary audacity and faith and surrender to let the intelligence of the grace take over and to control your life, to calibrate your life as it life sees fit. Because the function of your life is to not make you popular, or not make you beautiful, or not make you, you know gain wealth. The intention of grace is just so that you find your fullest potential, you become your fullest self, you become your most, you know, most full-fledged life that you are here to live. It's basically the grace is like that kind of an assistant in the cinema hall, which will make sure that you watch the full picture with its full depth and understanding. So the money that you have put in the theater of life, you extract every penny. The return of investment is in full depth. That is the function of grace. But ultimately we have conditioned our mind to such a way that if something which is not our in the frame of intended picture starts to happen, we become freak out. This is not how I imagine my life to be. It's not going that way, it's going some other way which is unconventional. I haven't thought of it, that what will happen if that goes, that is not the norm of the society, what will happen? My boy, the function of grace is not to think about your social relevance. The function of your grace is just to see. The universe just wants to see. The intelligence of the universe is just functioning, seeing you as a life, that how I can make this life to its fullest potential. It will take all the ways and the steps that it needs to take to get you upgraded. That's how the universe functions. That's how the existence functions. Because the existence has no concerns about what will happen to your social relevance. Nope. Its only concern is I will create situations in such a way that this being flourishes, this being integrates itself, this being becomes upgraded in every aspect of the way. That is the function of grace. But first, you need to be receptive towards it. Then only it will start functioning. Otherwise, if you're not receptive through your competence and skill, you may get the life you want, but you will still feel frustrated. You will still feel stress. You will still feel inadequate, incomplete. These are just the byproducts. It means the grace is not with you. Means you are not receptive to grace. Grace is everywhere. And there is luck. There is bhagya. Means are the universe, are the situations giving you the intended opportunities that is needed to commit the action to make the action successful. That is luck. So if these three things you have with you, you go into any kind of work, you will become successful. Because even if you don't have the necessary intelligence or skill or competence, if you go with grace, if you go with grace, you've surrendered to the grace, to the intelligence of life, what will happen is the grace will create certain situations so that you become competent. And once you become competent, you will have the necessary intelligence to wait for the right kind of situations, to see when the right kind of situations pop up, and you will do the work in that situation only, and it will become successful. To get that intelligence, to get that perception, that can only happen when the intelligence, which is not of your intellect, of this mind, takes over. That can only happen when the intelligence of the existence is working through you. Otherwise, it can't happen. And that intelligence of the existence, personified, is a deity. Okay. That doesn't mean that if you don't uh, get access to a deity, you can't access the universal intelligence. You can. You can. But it is more feasible through deities. Similarly, like a smartphone and just, you know, talking to someone who is far through a smartphone or through a fax machine or something. Everything can be done. It's just a question of feasibility and added perks. That is the only thing. Okay. Now, this is how you can manifest, because suppose you want something that is this point, that is point B. You want to become something, you want to be something. Now there is steps that you have to take to become that or to achieve that. Now, when you get access to the deities, especially Ganesha, Ganesha will provide you the intelligence so that you know what are the skill sets that you need to have to achieve that, to manifest that. As a intelligent cosmic intelligence, he you are connected to him, so you will have grace, the needed lubrication, that through achieving your personal desires also, you will also be upgrading yourself as a life, and that will make you such complete, such wholesome, that that sense of inadequacy, that sense of frustration will go away from life. Life won't feel that it's taking a toll on you, no matter how intense your activity may be. You will not find that life will be dragging you down. And since he is also Vigneshwar, he is also remover of obstacles, he will create situations, because he is an existential fundamental force. He will create situations and provide you the necessary insight to commit the action when the action will become fruitful. So, through a deity, you will have the grace, you will have the in- intellect and intelligence or the skill, and you will also have luck. So just see how your rate of success will increase. And that's why Ganesha is also known as the ambassador of auspiciousness or the Karak of Shupta. Now, what is this Shupta? Shupta means when your desires, when your desires and the well being that you have created around you is in accordance, is in alignment to the expansion that you must have as a life to know your truest potential. See, there are certain things, there are certain desires, there are certain achievements which look like achievements, but it is against the very nature of your expansion that you need to have as a life. You need to have to realize your truest potential. Some are things are there, like some aspects are there. If it happens, it will not bring you well-being. It will bring you misery. Have you seen there are many people who have many good jobs in their life? They have good cars, they have good houses, big houses, all the things that a man may want. Have you seen their faces? If you go to, they will, it will seem that they have chronic ulcers, they have high blood pressure, hypertension. It means that there is no shubhata, there is no auspiciousness in their lives because their path of achieving success is not aligned to their fundamental need of expansion as a life to know their truest potential. And when there will be disalignment, it will always bring stress, misery, chronic ailments, and everything. It is just the meaning that you have not aligned your actions, aligned your desires, aligned your achievements with the roadmap that life has for you to expand, to grow as a life, to know your truest potential. That's why there is like this. Means it is inauspicious for you. It is not, that achievement has not brought you true well-being. So it is not shubh, it is not auspicious. Ganesha is for auspicious, means he will bring you success, he will bring you name, he will bring you fame, he will bring you competence, but he will make sure that all those achievements, all those desires that you have is first aligned with your life map to grow, to expand as the fullest possibility of a human being, the fullest version of you. He will make sure. And if, since he is a deity, he has a much larger intelligence than us, higher intelligence than us, he will discreetly see that if the action, if the endeavor that you are pursuing, will it lead to your ultimate well being? Will it lead to your overall well being? If it's not, he will create obstacles in your path so that you don't go there. If you're driving a car and falling into the ditch, you're thinking that there is, something there, it's a water, I will jump in the water, and but there is a ditch. He will create obstacles so that you don't go there. That's where Ankusha comes. It's a, I yes, in the previous episode I told you, see a typical Ganesha's iconography from a traditional art. I don't know if you have seen or not. If you have not seen it, go find a traditional iconography of Ganesha, see what he is holding in his hands, what he's wearing. Pause the podcast, pause the video, and see it, and then come, because there may be a reason for it. Okay, so that's where Ankusha comes. Ankusha is a gourd, I think, in English. So what happened used to, so Ganesha has four hands. In one hand, he's way holding Ankusha, a gourd. One hand he's holding in pash, noose. One here is in the form of benediction, boon, and one is holding a laddu. Okay, or his favorite sweet. Now, let me come to Ganesha's iconographic so that you will understand what it means. Okay. Now Ganesha is the ambassador of Shupta. Means if Ganesha is there, whatever you achieve, whatever desires you have, the fulfillment will of those desires will only add to your existential well-being as a life. You will feel more freedom, you will feel more relaxed, you will feel more joy, more calm, more peace, more bliss. It will lead to your life quality being higher, not degrade your quality of life with every achievement, with every success you get. That is a deity's first, responsibility towards its devotees. That a deity will always see that, okay, if my devotee is achieving success in this field, will it add to his ultimate or well-being or not? Will it increase the quality of life, increase the quality of experience, the profoundness of experience that he or she is having in life? Will it increase or decrease? If it is decreasing, is it due to the lack of competence he or she is facing? If it is, I will create situation that he will you know upgrade his perks so that he can handle the activity better. If it not, I will make sure I will bring obstacles in his or her path so that he doesn't go there. I will use my ankusha. Ankusha means a goad. Previously what he used to do, if you see elephants, previously when war elephants were being held up, so the one who is riding the elephant, I don't know what it is called in Hindi. It starts with M, Mathan or something. So if the elephant is starting to go, like in full throttle, he is going to go somewhere and bash it. Okay. And the rider, what he used to do, he used to have a goad or a ankush, and he used to poke the elephant. And I don't know where it's in the neck or in the head. Somewhere he used to poke, and the elephant would stop. He doesn't go ahead. That is an ankush. Ankush means which takes you hold, which which stops you from doing what you are doing. Okay, so that is an ankush. He holds a goad, ankush, in his hand, so that whenever, as a devotee, as accessing, you have connected to his energies, you are connected to him, and you're going in some way, you're going thinking that this success will bring me well-being because my parents said so, my peers said so, my social media is saying so, my trending hashtags are saying so, all the hype is saying so. He has a fundamental duty because you have accessed him. As a deity, he has this fundamental duty to stop you from going falling into the ditch. The existence is helping you, is stopping you. And that you will know. You will very much know. Okay. And it has happened to me so many times. Not only with Ganesha. I am sitting here blabbering all this on the podcast and everything. It's because I wanted to have many such achievements, many such successes, which would make you fall into the ditch, which will which would have made me detour from the roadmap of life, from the roadmap of expansion as a life, to know who I am in its truest possible extent. It would have taken a big detour. And if I would have, gone ahead of those paths, the sub paths that come, means the desires would have been fulfilled. It would have taken much consequences. It would have tied my journey in such a way that to realize who I am would have taken more, it would have gone to so many years, maybe would not happen in this lifetime. So the deities that I'm associated with intentionally, strategically, with their ankush, with their goad, stopped me, made me unsuccessful. No matter I crib, I cry, or so many things, they stopped it so that my journey, my roadmap of life is fixed. So that even I can think all over the place, I will do this, I will do that. But I am assured that my life will, the journey of my life will take me to the place where I have pinpoint, which is to know who I am, to know the profoundness of every aspect of life, to know the fullest potential of what a human being can be. And that is everyone's fundamental need as a life. That through various things I have come to this realization. But it looks hard, when you are thinking that I must be successful in this endeavor or that endeavor and it doesn't happen. It makes you so shattered. But that's the difference between a deity and without a deity. For you are going into those endeavor without accessing to the deities, if I would have you know taken up on those endeavor, it would have become successful. I would have won on those endeavors, but I would have lost as a life. I would have lost the possibility of knowing who I am. That's why they interfered heavily and stopped me from going haywire around the road. That's what happens when you are in the path of grace. The path of grace is a straight line. It's like a highway. Okay. And you are in that highway in such a way that all the things that will help you to progress in the highway will be fulfilled. But anything that you don't know may detour you from the highway of knowing yourself will not happen with you, no matter how much cry and crib. That's why I'm always assured that no matter how much endeavor I take up, only those endeavors which are aligned with my original purpose of life, with the life plan that I have, will happen. And if I can align most of the endeavors, that it will happen. Because that is the most beautiful thing. It relieves you from so much of thinking, which is such a shallow field of thinking, because we don't have all the answers. We don't know what is happening around us to the fullest extent. Let the cosmic intelligence, let the deity handle it for you. That's why you use productivity tools for also, no? Like calendar and to-do lists. Because you are here to experience all those stuff. Let the computers, the productivity apps do it for you. Similarly, this existential decisions you can also take if you are that capable. But if you are taking all the time existential decisions, you can't enjoy life. You can't enjoy the life around you. You will always be thinking, what should I do? What should I take? What should I think? How should I act in my life? Leave those decisions to the deity, which is more capable and more competent. He has a larger insight. He or she has a larger insight about life than you are. Existential intelligence personified. Can you think? Existential, not universal, existential. There can be many universes in the existence. That existential intelligence manifested in a form. That is a deity. That's what the powerful power of a deity is. So I let all these life decisions rest on the deity and see where I am. Do I regret any decisions that I have given to the deity? No, absolutely not. Do I regret how I came to this place in life? Absolutely not. Did I was the paths that the deity chose are the paths that I consented to? No. At that time, no. Because as a human being, you have emotions, you have mind. Mind will tell all kinds of things, all kinds of reasons it will give, all kind of logical nonsense reasons it will give. But through various experiences that had happened in with me in life, I knew that although it sucks in this stage, it will make you jump to such an extent which you have never imagined, dreamt of in your life. When I look back, the place that I am in today, I would have never imagined it to be possible. It was out of my dream, like fantasy, my imagination. Out. Like, if that Shubham you ask about this Shubham, it's just an imagine, not also imagination, can't even have thought. Okay. So, your life should be like that. That may your dreams never come true. May something which you have never dreamed possible happen to you. That's when life flourishes. And I have always been in gratitude for that to the deities that I have been associated to. The way they interfered and the way they did all the thinking and all the career. Truth be told, I don't have any competence to do any of those things. But through grace, I have been receptive to the grace. It has made me competent. And through the grace, luck is always on my favor. Okay. Whatever happens to me will always, through the intelligence of Ganesha, I always make it a possibility to upgrade myself, to grow as a life. No matter. It doesn't mean there are no obstacles in my life. There are n number of obstacles in my life happening. But through the intelligence of Ganesha, what has happened with me is I always see that obstacle as a transcendence of a new limitation, breach of a new limitation, and growing into a new possibility. And when you do it this enough, it becomes like a play for you, like a game for you. Then anything tragic happens with your life, you're not shattered, because you will find it, you will see how to make it a wonderful possibility for your growth and experience and limitation. Okay, that is the power of Ganesha. That is the power of noose. Sorry, goad, Ankush. Now the another hand, Ganesha holds pash or the noose. Have you seen the cowboys? You know the cowboys, they have a rope and they tie it, put it into the bull, and they do the bull as the spain that it has, right? Bullfighting or something. They have a noose that they tie. So Ganesha has a pash, a noose. With the noose, what he does is he will, and this is not only the case that Ganesha has the noose and the goad, means Pash and Ankush. Many other deities also have, even the feminine deities I will talk about. Okay. So, what is the function of the noose? The function of the noose is to make you passionate, involved in the work that will bring you success and existential well being. Suppose, let's take the example of spiritual practices only. I need to do certain practices to upgrade myself, to upgrade my non physical faculties. Now, it contains meditation, chanting, rituals, everything. And it's, to for a outsider, it is very boring. Truth be told, for when I was young, means 5 years back, 6 years back, I hated rituals. I hated karmakand, I hated rituals. I didn't like rituals because it's very boring. It was boring for me. Okay. But it was essential. Okay. So what happened is, like, the deity saw it as an essential that you have to be involved with the practices so that to reap the maximum benefits. Only when you're totally involved with the practices can you be reap the maximum benefits. Even in the case with you, you will only know that aspect of life to its fullest, in which aspect of life you're fully involved. It may be social media, it may be your car, it may be your relationships, anything. The secret of knowing is by total involvement. But how does the total involvement happen if you're not passionate about it? So the pasha that the deity holds will make you passionate about the thing that you're doing. The activity that was you thought was boring, you will start liking that activity. You will start being focused and involved in that activity. Okay, and when you start being focused and involved in that activity, your progress will start happening. And if the deity sees that you are too involved in that activity, that then and it is making you detract, it is making you detour, de-aligned with the fundamental map of life that you are, of grace, then he will use his ankusha and create obstacles in that activity so that you come to your optimal level. So that's why he has pash, he has ankusha. Ankusha is to create obstacles, pash is to, make you involved and passionate about the activity that you are doing, which will bring you success and well-being, which will, and when I say well-being and success, I will talk about shupta, because shupta means those desires, those successes are aligned to the fundamental expansion of your life, to fundamentally grow the richness of experience that you have as a life. That is what Shupta is. That's why he has Pash, he has Ankush. Pash, get involved with the activity. When you're too passionate and it is taking you away from your well being, he will use Ankusha and poke you in such a way that you come down. And this is the secret of success is. Means to achieve a flow state, Ganesha can make you achieve a flow state in any activity. Means the activity is not so easy with the Ankusha that you will get bored in it, but the activity is not so tough, Pasha, that you know you give up the activity. So you he will calibrate the obstacles and the success in such a way that you are totally involved in the activity. And when this happens, you attain a flow state. You are completely involved, you are one with the activity you are doing, and that oneness will create the necessary insight and knowledge so that you know the loopholes, the laws that that system, that activity needs to become successful. You will know the dharma of the work of the system that you are doing. When you know the laws, you will know the laws of success to achieve how to be successful in that endeavor, and that will only come with involvement. And how does involvement happen? When you go into flow state. How will flow state happen? When the activity is not so tough that you fall off, and not so easy then you get bored and fall off. So Pash and Ankusha is always there to stabilize it. That's the power of Ganesha. That's the power of Ganesha. That he will make you completely involved in any work you're doing in such a way that you find out those subtle laws that can make you successful in that activity, and you can achieve success. You will have a full depth and expertise on the subject that you are dealing, that you are involving it, whether it be cooking, dancing, communication, recording a podcast, expressions, everything. That's the power of Ganesha. And then there is the third hand of Ganesha, which is down, is in the hand of benediction. Only when Pasha and Ankusha creates a flow state you are involved, your actions will become fruitful. You will have the insight. And when you commit those actions, it will become fruitful. Means you will find success. You will find success in the endeavor you're doing. That's why Ganesha. And Laddu, the sweet that he is holding, is about fulfillment. That success that you will have will not bring you, not make you unfulfilled, not make you more stressed, not make you more, give you more chronic ailments, but will increase the fulfillment that you have as a life. The bliss, the joy that you thought you could only experience when you were children, you can experience it now also. I'm experiencing it now. Right now, I'm conversing it in the podcast. I'm experiencing every time. Every cell in me is bursting with ecstasy, with bliss, with joy, with fulfillment. Why? Because these four aspects, the Pash Ankusha, the Laddu, and the Varadhast, means the goat, the noose, the sweet, and the benediction of Ganesha, is always there. He is always, his energies are always there to see that if my endeavor is going against to the purpose that has been created in life, my endeavor doesn't become successful, so that I don't fall into the ditch, the trap of life. He always is concerned that I don't make myself shackled in life in such a way that whenever a important endeavor has to be done or an important turnover takes place, I'm shackled in so much that I can't go, I can't experience, I can't grab that opportunity. Is always taking my life and keeping it to an edge that I become free enough so that I don't become bow down to the challenges of life. Because he is a deity of intelligence, and he doesn't want his devotees to get, trapped into the sands of time, so that his deity can experience his life or her life to the fullest. That's what deities are for. Okay. So that is the truest thing of Ganesha. And if you can apply it in any endeavor, if you are still in, you know, college, university, doing a job, starting up a new business, and you don't know what to do, seek Ganesha's assistance, connect with him, and you will see how the obstacles in your life start to disappear. But if it still doesn't, means you have to audit yourself. That the thing, that endeavor that you have taken up, is it your own endeavor or is it a consequence of the opinions of the people around you? Is the consequence of the society around you? Is the consequence of the trends around you? And you just want to, you know, be relevant to the society in which you are living, to gain some respect in the eyes of the people that don't care about you at all. You want to be on the positive side of their book, of their opinion, who will not come to help you when you face adversity, and is not related actually to the life's purpose that you have. And check it carefully. Is it worth to fulfill that endeavor, to become successful in that endeavor? If you become even successful in that endeavor, maybe you will get some approval from your family members and friends and society, everything. But will it increase the quality of experience of your life that you will be experiencing? Will it increase the joy? Will it increase the bliss? Will it increase the ecstasy in every moment of your life? If the answer is no, then no, my friend. Ganesha is not that kind of a friend which will help you to achieve that success. Because you have come here to experience life to its fullest, not to torture yourself. And as a friend, I see Ganesha as a friend. I relate to him as a friend more than a deity or a god. I see him as a friend. And this is the wonderful thing you can do with the deities. You can relate to them as however you want, and they will reciprocate it accordingly to the relations that you have. If you relate to the deity as a friend, he will reciprocate as a friend. If you relate to the deity as a father, he will do it as a father, as a guide, as a guru. Anything you can relate, he will reciprocate accordingly. There are certain deities that you can only relate to as a father or a mother, but there are certain deities you can relate with, like all kinds of things. Like I would say Krishna is the most popular one because you can him relate to him like anything. You can relate to him as a friend, as a lover, as a husband, as a wife, anything. Okay. Case with Shiva also, you can relate to him with anything. So in Ganesha, I relate to him as a friend. So as a friend, he's not that kind of friend which will, just to so that you are not seeing your fullest potential. He is seeing your fullest potential, and he will just help you success because he knows that that success will become a curse for you. He will not help in that. His goal is so that you find your truest purpose, so that your experience, richness of living life heightens. And that may not be conventional to your paths. So choose accordingly that you want to accept his friendship or not. You can relate to him as a friend also, but as a deity also. If you are just accessing him as a deity, like an existential intelligence, and you just want, okay, I want to just use him to fulfill my endeavors, then it's okay. Then it will become successful. You just do the rituals, the processes. You take the sankalpa, the resolution that for why you are invoking his energies. You just don't need to, you don't ask him to interfere in your life. Just fulfill the thing that he has been invoked for. You do the rituals and it will happen for you. But that success, will it bring well-being or not, that is up to you. So you can also relate just like a planned deity, but you can also relate to him as a member of you, as a part of you. That's when the true magic happens. Okay. So that doesn't mean that the work will not get fulfilled. If you want to get the work fulfilled, you approach him as a typical deity, that he is a deity. You are doing the rituals, you are accessing, you are doing the rituals and accessing him so that this work happens. You are not concerned, not bothered with him that whether I don't care if it will bring will well-being or not, and I don't give you the permission to enter in like that. Only do what I have told you. That also have many demons have done with Ganesha, and they had to face the consequences. They have find endeavors. Okay, so that is the discretion I'm leaving it to you. Okay, and that's why you will see in every Indian household that Ganesha is such popular. Even they are starting off any work, they are invoking Ganesha's presence. They are doing the rituals to invoke Ganesha's presence. And ultimately, whether they know it consciously or not is a different question. But always, this is the fundamental intent behind invoking Ganesha is that everything that I am doing or I am starting this endeavor, may it become successful in such a way that it adds to the richness of experience that I have as a life. That it enhances the richness of experience that the life has around me, and it adds to the richness of experience as a collective whole existence. That is always the intent of invoking Ganesha before any endeavor in any Indian household or any Indian spiritual practice. That may this endeavor that I am starting lead me to not only find my true essence of who I am, may it also lead to the well being of the entire existence around me that I am interacting with, that I am dependent on, that I am a part of. That's why people invoke Ganesha. Whether they are going into a new house, they will invoke Ganesha. Among other deities, also they will invoke and say that may the inhabitation in this house adds to the richness of experience that I have as a life. It leads to my existential well being. It leads to Shubhta, auspiciousness. Okay. Now, I have told you my epiphanies with Ganesha. I will not go into the detailed epiphanies, maybe some other day, but you have got the gist of what I wanted to tell you. Now, the second thing that I want to say is how you can connect with Ganesha. Now, see, I have not told about the origins of how Ganesha manifested, the lores that the mystics have. See, you have Zen cones, the lores. Okay, we have mystical lores. We have yogic lores. The mystics also know how Ganesha is manifested as a deity, as a being. Okay, those lores are there. I'm not going into those lores. Why? Because those are just stories. Okay, if through connecting with Ganesha, you are inspired and overwhelmed by the experience, the assistance that he is providing. When you are inspired so much that how much he is providing, how much he is helping you grow the needed intelligence to notice that, to observe that, then automatically you will have this need that, oh my god, he is such a wonderful friend, or he is such a wonderful guru, or he is such a wonderful how you relate to. This need always comes that whenever we fall in love with someone, we tend to know more about him or her. Yes, if you have fallen in love with someone, maybe it is a crush also, you start stalking him or her on social media to know more about him or her. Why? That's a natural consequence. So I'm not talking about how Ganesha is born, how he manifested, what is his life story and everything, his personality traits. That is necessary. But first, connect with him see the magic, experience the magic, and then when magic happens and you see you are overwhelmed by the experience, you as a life will automatically find a way to know more about him. And if you are truly connected to him, his grace is with you. He will guide you in such a way that you will know more about him. He will reveal it to you. And how? That is your personal journey. That is your, movie. That's why I said, no, I want you to make the protagonist on the hero and heroine in your movie, life's movie. I'm just a cameo. It is your life, your movie. You have to make the journey. You are the hero. You are the heroine who has to make the journey. Just keep Ganesha alongside. You will never fail as a life. You may fail in lot of endeavors, but this is the assurance and guarantee I'm giving you, will never fail as a life, because this is his own promise that once whoever comes to me, Ganesha says this, whoever comes to me with full faith and devotion as a friend, I will remove every obstacle in his life. As a friend, I will give him clarity and insight and perception to see the full scope and existence in life. And as a friend, I will enrich the quality of experience that he is having as a life. And this is my promise. And once I give my promise, it is there. It won't be changed by hook or by crook. Once I have given a promise, I have given a promise. That's the thing I want you to make aware, that deities, when they say something, they will do it. Their word is their promise. In human beings, our word is not the promise. If we say something, we'll do something other. That's why we have contracts, because we can't fulfill our promises, we can't keep our promises. But for a deity, for that being, his word is his promise. Is If he has said something, he will do it no matter what happens. Okay. So if you can earn the grace of Ganesha in your life, you get connected to Ganesha. He will, as a friend, guide you, help you in many ways you can't imagine possible. I have taken his help in so many minor things. Even today, I take his help. Okay, because I don't consider myself to everything, knowing everything. No, I just have the technology. I use the technology in a well suited manner. That's why it happens with me. If you also use the technology in a well suited manner, it will happen to you. It's not something special about me or special about you. Okay, it's just a human experience. Okay, so how do you connect with Ganesha? Now I have said you can connect with Ganesha with his Swarupa, the imagery that I have told you. You may try to visualize his imagery in your first, visualize it, see it, focused, what is every minute detail in the picture you can see, and then close your eyes and then imagine the very detail of that imagery. Still, it sticks to your mind for 3 to 4 seconds, and again it will fade. See it again, see it again. That is one way. Second way is connecting through his mantra. Okay, although there are various potent mantras of Ganesha, even Ganesha's name is also enough to start getting access to his energies or to him. So if you just start, reciting his name, like Ganesha, Ganesha, Ganesh, 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 Ganesh. Okay. Although that is there, but there are other 12 names of Ganesha. Okay. He says that those who recites these 12 names before either starting any endeavor or getting married, he specifically says marriage, or before his studies, or before going into a battle, or before going into a forest, empty forest, like where there is no humanity around, a secluded place or somewhere. Those who chants recites this 12 names and goes does any endeavor before it, he will always get my access, get my help. The 12 names. Okay. So what are the 12 names? If you can recite this 12 names, or you can just say Om Ganeshaya Nama, or simply say Ganesh, 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 Ganesh. Okay, just like haphazardly. Okay, when you need. The 12 names I'm giving it here. Okay, you can pause the podcast and listen and note down. However, you just listen to the names if you want and use it. One is first name is Sumukh, Sumukh, Sumukh. Second name is Ekdant. Okay, Ekdant. Third is Kapil, Kapil. Fourth is Gaja Karnak, Gaja Karnak. Fifth is Lambodar, Lambodar. Sixth is Wicket, Wicket. Seventh is Vigna Nashak, Vigna Nashak. Eighth is Vinayak, Vinayak. Ninth is Dhumraketu, Dhumraketu. 10th is Gajanan, Gajanan. 11th is Bhalachandra, Bhalachandra. 12th is Ganadhyaksh, Ganadhyaksh. Okay. So if you can recite, you can write it down in a piece of paper. Okay, with the sounds that I have given. Maybe I will link the 12 names also in the playlist or something. Maybe, or maybe you can just jot down the names. And if you can recite these 12 names before starting any endeavor, starting anything, and just with uttermost faith and devotion, you just ask Ganesha that, Ganesha, I'm starting this. Please stay with me. Be your intelligence with me. Just start and see how you will find his access. And if you want to truly get his help, you must make it a part of your life. It's like you're befriending a person. You're befriending a person. Just imagine someone befriended you, and whenever he needs, he calls you, and whenever he doesn't need, he forgets about you. Maybe your partner, boyfriend or girlfriend, wife or husband. If this thing happens with you, how will you feel? Okay, although he doesn't feel like that, but that's an abuse, no, of a relationship. You only call them, look up to them when you need them. Otherwise, you ignore them. That is an abusive relationship. Okay, so you better, if you want to befriend him, if you want to get his assistance, his guidance, you must make him a part of your life. Everything you do, you know, although you can't see him, you can't communicate with him, there are rituals and ways you can see him, you can communicate with it. That comes under Tantra. But simply, even if you get help in assistance, in in your endeavors, why not take it? There's no loss in it. Okay, so just make this names a part of your breath, your heart, every time when you do, and you visualize that his energies are always there with you. Invoke his energies before doing anything, and you will find, as you keep on doing it, it will build. The energy stacks will build in such a way, and once it gets built, you will such seeing phenomenal things happening in your life, that there will be no question of doubt that his presence is always with you. Okay, so I hope you got value in this podcast. You understood, you saw Ganesha, you saw the deities in a different perspective altogether. You understood what is Shupta and Ashupta, means what is auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. Ganesha is a ambassador of auspiciousness, means the success that you have in life will always lead to increase in the experience of the quality of life that you are having. It will not be against the quality of experience you have as a life. That is Shupta. And before I leave in this podcast, I will just come with the meaning of this also. That if you see Shupta, Ganesh is an Karak of Shupta, is an ambassador of Shupta, auspiciousness. My name is Shubham. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of Shubham? Shubham comes from two words amalgamated together, which means Shubh plus Pratham. Pratham means first. Like we have first, second, third, no? Pratham, Dvitiya, Tritiya means first, second, third. And Shubh means auspiciousness, means the success will always add to your existential well being. Okay. So the meaning of Shubham is just this: the one who is the first to involve in any endeavor whose success will lead to the increase in the quality of a life that a human being has, that the existence has. That is the meaning of Shubham. Okay, so Shubham, Shubhata, Ganesh, all related. That's why I had such a presence of Ganesha in my life, because he is the ambassador of what I am doing. Okay, so I hope these things, it may look some fairy tale-ish, but that's where experiment comes in. The ways that I have given, if you follow it and you apply it in your life, you will start seeing experience. That I can assure you, because it has happened with so many people. I have told them to do, but you have to make it a part of your life, and you have to do it like the way I have stated it. If you put any innovation in it, the consequence, you are responsible for it. I am not. So listen to this podcast again, watch this video again and again and again, so that pause it and note it down what I have said. Listen to it again and again. And if you have not understood anything, go to the previous podcast and see it chronologically. Okay. So thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you got value, and through this podcast you have transcended many limitations, many things which you weren't clear about has been cleared out. And if it has increased your sense of fuzziness, it has making you more unclear, then it's good. It means you're really seeking, you're really searching. That's good. That's where experimentation comes in. I hope you experiment with the tools I have given you, connect with the energies of Ganesha, and make use of his energies to aid in your endeavors, to bring auspiciousness in your lives. Thank you. Namaskaram. See you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to Transcend with Shubham. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained some valuable insights. If you want to learn more about spirituality, mysticism, and mental well being, be sure to check out my website, transcendsutras108.com, for online coaching sessions and weekly blog posts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to reach out to me on social media. Until next time, keep transcending.